Alright everybody, how's it going? This is Mr. Noland again. Alright, so homework 6.1b, this is for PreaAP students. Remember, we are finding either the parts, the whole, or the percent. On this video, I'm just going to be setting up. There might be a couple that I'll solve, but most of these, I'm just going to be setting them up. Your job is to solve them. Okay? So, let's go ahead and look at number 1. It tells us the school had 20% or 50 of their students. How many total students do they have? So let's go ahead and start with our percent bar. Now yesterday on the percent bar, I'll be honest, I was being a little bit lazy with it, and I really shouldn't have been. So I went on ahead and re-showed the students how to do the percent bar today. So this starting spot right here is 0. You always start with 0. Right down here would be 0%. The finish line down here would always be equal to 100%. Now we're going to fill in the rest of our percent bar with the information given. The school had 20%, so it gives us a percent. So I have to go down here to the percents. Is 20% closer to 0% or is it closer to 100%? Well, good, it's closer to 0%. So this is about where I'm going to mark 20% at. Now we have to figure out where this 50 goes. Okay? Is it going to be my part or is it going to be my whole? Again, some of you are going to read this and not understand. Well, I recommend reading the question. The question says, how many total students do they have? Well, we're trying to figure out the total. This is what we're solving for. So that means that 50 is our part. Well, look at that. We have our percent bar set up. You now have to figure out your scale factor, and you can solve number 1. Okay, so again, number 1 is set up for you. You need to go ahead and solve it. Okay, number 2 is a little bit of a challenging question. By that I meant 2B. 2B is a little bit of a challenging question. So I want to challenge you. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the answer for 2B. Your job is to show me how you solved it. How did you get this answer? So 2B, the answer should be $110. How did I get it? I want you to see if you can figure it out. Nothing wrong with a challenge. Number 3, 75% of the students in Miss Lake's class are girls. There are 72 boys in her classes. How much percent are boys? And then how many total students does Miss Lake's have? Ooh, this is a nice little challenging question. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do this one with you. Okay. Well, if 75% of the students in Miss Lake's class are girls, well, doesn't that mean 25% are boys? Really no work needed for that. 3B, how many total students does Miss Likes have? Well, we already know that she has 72 boys, but we don't know how many girls she has. So we're going to go ahead and set up a nice little percent bar. Alright, so let's see here. We do know one thing. I know it tells us that 75% of the girls, but we know that 25% of the boys. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this 25%, which represents the boys. 25% is closer to 0. So 25% we'll say is about right there. We also know that the part, there are 72 boys. We need to figure out the whole. The whole in this case is going to give us how many girls are in the class. Well, let's see. I have a scale factor. To get from 25 to 100, you have to multiply by 4. So what is 72 times 4? Well, let's see here. 72 times 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 7 times 4 is 28. So there are 288 girls. But that's not what the question asks. The question says how many total students. So you take your 72 boys plus your 288 girls, and there are 360 total students. That was a lot of work for one little problem. But hey, again, it's a good little challenge. This is what your test is going to be like next Wednesday and Thursday. Okay. Number 4, I'm going to go ahead and let you try on your own. Number 5 is going to be fun. This is like real world when you become an adult, or when you go out on a date with your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever it is. And you're going to leave a tip. You want to know what percent of a tip you're going to leave. Okay? So I'm going to start by creating my percent bar. Okay. Billy tipped the waiter $14 on a $70 dinner bill. What percent did Billy give? Alright, so here's what we'll know. It's given us, let me rephrase. It gave us the part, and it also gave us the whole. Some students earlier today was telling me the whole is $84. The whole is not $84. You can't add the bill plus the tip and say $84. The whole is what the bill was total before the tip. So the bill was $70. The part is how much of a tip he gave. He gave $14. So if you notice, $14 is closer to 0. So I'm going to go ahead and put my line right here. Alright, now this is what we're solving for. We're solving for this percent. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to take the part, and you're going to put it over the whole. Well, guess what? You can go solve it from there. Do a little top in, bottom out. Move the decimal over to make it a percent, and you got your answer. You can do that one on your own, guys. Alright, let's turn to the back. I want y'all to try 6, 7, 8, and 9 on your own. I think you can get some extra practice on your own. Now, if we look at number 10, guys, questions 10, 11, 12, and 13, that's going to be like the second part of your test next Wednesday. Okay. Again, we're learning these 4 problems. We're going to learn these on Thursday and Friday, but I at least want you to see them. So we're talking about percent of change. So here we go. Number 10. What is the percent of change in the cost of gasoline from 1980 to 2017? If the gas in 1980 was 80 cents and in 2017 the gas was $2.10, round to the nearest whole percent if necessary. So we got to find the percent of change. All I know is, man, I miss those gas days back in the mid 90s, you know, when it was like $1.10. All those good days. I'll say this though, I can't be greedy. $1.75 for gas right now is amazing compared to what it was a few years ago. Alright, so here's what you do. Here's what you do. Your first step. We got to find the difference from the original to the new. So find the difference. What's $2.10 minus 80 cents? Well, that is $1.30, right? So your change was $1.30. But what was the original gas price? The original gas price was 80 cents. Now you have a fraction. So what you're going to do is top in, bottom out. Start by moving your decimal, kicking the ball to the wall. In this case, it took 2 kicks. However many kicks you have on the outside, you have to do the same amount of kicks on the inside. $80 can go into $130 one time. That leaves a remainder of $50. $80 can't go into $50, so I'm going to add a 0. But how many times can $80 go into $500? Let's see. $80, $160, $240, $320, $400, $480. Goes in there 6 times. Leaves a remainder of $20. Again, add a 0. How many times can $80 go into $200? $80, $160. Goes in there 2 times. And then again, add your 0. $80 can go into $400 5 times. Now you have a decimal. How do you convert a decimal into a percent? You take your decimal and move it 2 times to the right. So you get 162.5%. On your test, though, there's going to be a second part. Was it an increase or a decrease? And you can just tell that by looking at the original price compared to the new. Notice you went from $80 to $2.10. That's an increase. So this was 162.5% increase. There's your answer. I will do one more with y'all. And I want y'all to do the car, because you're going to be having your own car here shortly. I'll help you out with the cell phone now. Number 12. The price of a cell phone was $800, and now the price has dropped to $650. What is the percent of change in the price of the cell phone? Rounds to the nearest whole percent. I know this one says rounds to the nearest whole percent. Guys, I don't want you to round. I actually want you to finish solving these because these should be some pretty nice numbers. Let's see here. So the first step is to find the change. What is the difference from 800 to 650? Well, that's a difference of... Anybody? No? Okay, well, to get from 800 to 650, that's a change of 150. And you now have to put that over the original amount. What was the original cell phone price? It was originally $800. Now you have a fraction. Top in, bottom out. Can 800 go into 150? No, it cannot, so we're going to add a 0. Oh, I'm sorry. Add a decimal up top and add a 0 here. Sorry about that. How many times can 800 go into 1500? Go in there 1 time. Now 800 can't go into 700, so we're going to have to add a 0. How many times can 800 go into 7,000? Woo-wee. Well, let's see. Well, I'm not even going to do that because we know 800 times 10 is 8,000, so it's got to go in there less than 10 times. We know 8 times 9 would be 72, so 800 times 9 would be 7,200. That's too much. 8 times 8 is 64, therefore 800 times 8 is 6,400. So it goes in there 8 times. Look at that math. Woo! I have a remainder of 6,000. Well, 600, add your 0. Now, how many times can 800 go into 6,000? Well, again, 800 times 8, you just told me was 6,400, so it can't go in there 8 times. So take 1 away, it can go in there 7 times. And that'll give you 5,600. And then how many times can 800 go into 4,000? Go in there 5 times. Now we have our decimal. turn it into a percent by moving the decimal 2 places to the right. You get 18.75%. But again, I want to know, is that an increase or a decrease? Again, look at your original, look at your new. You see how the price went down? That's a decrease. Alright guys, I hope this video helps you out. You still have quite a few problems to do on your own, but a lot of practice will make a lot of good help when you have your test coming up next week. We do have after-school tutoring starting tomorrow, Wednesday, April 9th. We will also have after-school tutoring on Thursday, April 10th. That would be from about 3:45 until 5 o'clock in my classroom. And we also have morning tutoring every single day in my classroom. Alright guys, I hope this video helps. Have a great evening. Bye.